Good afternoon, Keel Hauler fans. Tim Fitzgerald here with the man who has led the Keel Haulers to its winningest period over this past decade. It is head men's basketball coach Bryan Rooney, who has accepted the head men's basketball coaching position at Cal State East Bay. So thank you, Coach, for sitting down with me, or standing here with me one more time to, I guess, thank all the Keel Hauler fans and supporters, and not necessarily say farewell, more as a see you later, see you down the road.
Sure. Well, I appreciate it, Tim. It's been an unbelievable 10 years, and we're very proud, obviously, of the wins and the championships and trips to the national tournament. But, as I told our players on Monday, the biggest thing that I'll take away is the relationships. And every program in the country, talks about family, but I truly believe that that's what this has been. And maybe more importantly, where we are now, of what that's going to be going in the future with Keel Hauler basketball. So very, very sad to go, but at the same time, very proud of what we've accomplished.
Yeah, this opportunity with Cal State East Bay, you get a chance to move up to Division II, still stay in the Cal State system, still stay in the Bay Area. Tell us how this phenomenal opportunity came about.
Sure, I think very unexpected, to be honest with you. Coach Gus Arsenal had been the coach the last several years there, and had done a solid job, and he accepted an assistant job in Division I with Nevada Reno, and that happened very late in the summer, and everything happened very, very quickly. And to be honest with you, I was offered the job on Sunday and accepted in my mind, the wee hours of Sunday night, Monday morning of this week. So a very quick process, in many ways a very difficult decision. But when it came down to, we truly believe, with our family, my wife and I, this is a family decision on several different levels, and the opportunity with our children kind of going forward. So again, very, very, very sad to leave, but excited about the future as well.
Now, you've had opportunities like this before that you have turned down in order to stay with Cal Maritime.
Sure, yeah. There had been discussions in the past with other schools and other programs, but the one of with the Cal State East Bay opening opportunity, we don't have to move, and that was a huge thing. My wife and I were one of the things we love about our family is where we're able to raise our children. We live in Clayton, we love it, and this job allows us to continue doing that and not make sacrifices, that would hurt our family, which that will never happen.
Now, in the interim, the program being handed to your brother, Brendan, who has served as your assistant for the past 3 seasons now. He's been very instrumental in your recruiting and scouting, things like that. Your thoughts on Brendan taking over the program right now?
Well, I think there's, if there's any, in terms of program, in terms of my connection in being able to have Brendan still involved, still have Royster Martin, still have Nikhil Jain, still have Jim Halm, that's a huge part of it. And I think it's great for the players. There's no doubt. And I think as with, probably many assistants in any successful program across the country, it's so much of the behind the scenes that people don't see, but a huge part of the success. Brendan has been unbelievable. I joke with him. I've known him all his life, type of thing. But he is just a great basketball mind, really good X's and O's, very good in preparing scouting reports. But I think the thing, and I think why I wanted him involved in our program, and why I think he's going to do great going forward, is his genuine concern and love for the players. And that's something that they'll feel every single day, as they'll feel that from the other coaches as well. And I'm very happy about that.
And you had to, of course, break the news to various members of your Cal Maritime family, front office, the athletic department and staff, and of course your players as well. How did the players handle it? How do you think they'll be moving forward? Because that could be tough when a guy who recruited you somewhere then advances somewhere else. How did they handle that?
One of the most difficult days, certainly the most difficult day in our program, and way more difficult than a loss or anything like that. So, the support that our players have given me in this very trying time for them has been more than I deserve in many ways. And so I'll be forever thankful for the love that I've been able to share with them, and vice versa. And not only during this time, but all throughout the entire journey, going back 10 years. So yeah, Monday was one of the toughest times. It's not, nobody should really care how I feel as it, because it is about the players. But I think it was a tough day all the way around. But as I told them, which hopefully sunk in, is though I will not be their coach anymore, that doesn't take away from my concern for them, or being there for them at any time. I'm going to be at graduation. I'm going to see our seniors walk across the stage, and I will continue that tradition, because it's, again, it's cliche, but it's way more than basketball we're dealing with here.
Right, absolutely. What would you say, looking forward, will be some of your initial challenges in establishing a new program?
I think it's a huge challenge. There's coach that I was talking with, Coach Cox, I think has been in a similar situation, just came on board with that women's program, and you can't skip steps. A lot of respect for Coach Arsenal and the job that he did, but I think anytime that there's a coaching change, especially somebody coming from the outside, is making those foundation building block decisions, and in terms of players and what's expected, and defining those expectations. So there's a great deal of challenge ahead. I'm excited about it, but at the same time, to be honest with you, it reminds me a lot of the first year here at Maritime, in the sense that we were looking to do some things that had never been done in the program. And as I told the players at East Bay, that's part of our charge, is to do some things that have never been done in school history. And we have a lot of work to do, but we're hoping we can accomplish some of those.
Now, you've had some unique, we'll say, guidelines or suggestions for your players in your time here at Maritime. Sitting in the first two rows of their classes, being sure they're always there 15 minutes early. You've had sort of symbolic props that players hand to each other when they come on and off the court. Did the cadet life maybe lend to that, make that a little easier? Do you think you'll have to adjust your approach at all at a different type of university?
If I do, then I'm not the right guy. They hired the wrong guy, because I think one of the things that I've learned very early on in my coaching career, and probably going back to playing, is I think one of my strengths among many weaknesses is that I know who I am. Okay. And we're gonna do it, a way that we believe in as a staff, and I believe as the head coach. Obviously, you have to be flexible in terms of those type of things, but I think that's what I believe in, and we can't go away from that because somebody else does it a different way. So there'll be some of the common things for sure.
What would you say, as we look back at your time here at Cal Maritime, some of your favorite moments, some of the things that'll just always be etched in your mind, in your heart, of your time here at Cal Maritime?
There are so many, and I think about them all the time, to be honest with you, in terms of the car and driving. I'll remember the old gym at Mayo, where we set off the fire alarm seemingly every practice. I remember the first couple of years we would have that the late practice, because I was teaching over at the middle school in Benicia, and we practiced 7 o'clock, and what that meant was there was no practice coming in after us. And doing tip drill for an hour and a half, and you go back to those first years of Cody Gatton and Simon Heller and Steve Barrera, that senior group, and we called them kind of the Junction Boys, because it was a tough time of kind of getting through the mud, but owe so much to them. And then you fast forward to pictures that I have on my phone, going through it and going up with my family and up on the ladder. Ken Sales putting the ladder out for us to go down and cut down the net. But there's obviously a ton of memories, but it's the people, it's the relationships. I've worked the last 10 plus years for the best athletic director in the country, and more importantly, we've developed a friendship that will be lasting. And I love Marv Christopher. I don't know if there's a better human being out there, certainly athletic administration, and you can go all the way throughout our assistant coaches and all throughout the board, but I think that the biggest thing that I'll remember is our players, how much they've given to me, certainly on the floor, in the gym, but more importantly, just they're so giving of themselves, and that was what we talked about for so long, was be 2 feet in, and I can't adequately express how much admiration and appreciation I have for our players and all that they've given to me.
Where would you say you have grown the most in your time here at Cal Maritime? Where you've grown as a coach, as a person? Where do you feel that you've experienced that growth in your time here?
Oh man, so many areas, and there's still a long ways to go, obviously. But I think from a growth standpoint, I think as coaches, when we first got into it, it's going back 10 years ago, and I was a pretty relatively young head coach, and we look at the scoreboard, what that scoreboard is at the end of the game, and as cliched as it sounds, and I just kind of a new definition, and I think it happened kind of the middle of that first year, and just through some great guidance from some mentors. But how do we define success? And I think the biggest growth that I've had is, we've altered that. We've been able to win a lot of games. We're very proud of that. But the idea that our players and our staff, and certainly I am, in a better place leaving the program than we came in, and I'm very appreciative that I've had that kind of placed upon me, and that I've learned that, and I hope to never lose that, because that's one of the greatest things I'll take from Cal Maritime.
Yeah, what would you say you'll take from the Cal Maritime culture here, from the athletic department, the school as a whole? What do you think you'll take from Cal Maritime's culture that you'll take with you moving forward?
Anybody that asks me about Cal Maritime, I have fantastic things to say about it. I'm a huge believer in what the school stands for. Obviously, some people would say, recruiting's challenging, because of the majors or because of funding and things like that. But in many ways, it's a great place to recruit, because you have those that fit. There's no okay fits. There's no average fit. If it's a fit, it's a great fit. And to see the opportunities that not only our student athletes, not only our basketball players, but our students, where they are when they leave, as opposed to where they came in, I think that's the biggest thing. And I will continue to be not only a Keelhauler supporter for my entire life, but I'll be a Cal Maritime supporter. And I will always consider this a huge part of our family. I mean, my son was, born, my daughter was born, and there was very impactful things in my life, and there was a connection to Cal Maritime on each of those days, and I'll never forget that.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time. Your final message you'd like to deliver to Keelhauler fans, family, supporters, parents, the students, alumni. Your final message to them as coach of Cal Maritime's men's basketball program.
I will say, Keelhauler fans and faculty and staff and alumni, the greatest blessing that I have in my life is to be a husband and to be a father. And I put very close to that the opportunity to be part of the Cal Maritime community. I truly believe this is a family, and I've been very, again, blessed, not just honored, but blessed to be part of it, and to be able to see the growth in all of us. And I thank you for your support, and I look forward to you continuing to support Cal Maritime basketball and Keelhauler athletics, because it is always about the people, it's all about the relationships, and that will never change. Go Keelhaulers.
Coach, thank you again as always, and thank you for tuning in.
Arrivederci.